From Jessie on a Journey, coming to you live from my apartment in New York City. Today I am going to be sharing my story about how I got into travel blogging. I know as travelers we all have really big dreams, and maybe you want to get into travel blogging too, or maybe you just have this dream that isn't quite conventional. And what I want to do is show you that it is absolutely possible. Now, many of you may know that I am currently launching a new coaching program called Travel Blog Prosperity. And I've been teaching blogging classes for a few years online. And one thing that, trying to read the comments while I do this too. One thing I've noticed with the classes is that I teach for 4 to 8 weeks, give my students a lot of information, but once the class is over, so is the instruction. What I wanted to create was something that people will get ongoing coaching, so that when they have questions, they always have someone to ask. The other thing is there's so many different topics relating to blogging, and you kind of get them all at once when you do these set week courses. With an ongoing coaching program, we get really laser focused on a different topic each month, so you know it in and out. And then from there, we'll move on to the next topic. So as we move up to the launch, which is June 1st, I'll be putting out a bunch of these kind of Facebook Live videos to tell you about, travel blogging, give you some advice, and just give you some inspiration. So let me see. Perfect. Okay. I have my computer too, trying to see the comments, but I'm recording with my phone, so I might bend in a little bit as I'm talking. So how I got into travel blogging. I did go to college. My goal in college was to get a master's in the beginning, my goal wasn't to get a master's, but to get a degree in nonprofit PR. I had a lot of great internships in this realm, and I really loved it. But something I was introduced to in college was travel. First with study abroad, and then from there I did my first solo trip, summer backpacking in Europe, and also shortly after that, a backpacking trip around Southeast Asia. I really got hooked on travel. I had traveled growing up, but not to this extent, backpacking, going around by myself, really immersing myself in cultures, and I was really hooked. So when the time came to graduate, I decided that I wasn't ready to get a job and go into the real world, quote unquote real world. Instead, to kind of stall, I decided to go for my master's, and that is a fact. I do have a master's degree, and I got it because I wanted to continue traveling and not having a 9-to-5 job. Anyway, another year went by. I graduated early with my master's, and then the time came that I had to actually go into the real world and get this 9-to-5 job that all my friends were going on interviews and trying to get jobs at these big companies in Manhattan, and it terrified me. I didn't want to do it. I wanted a job. I wanted to contribute to society and all that great stuff. But I also wanted to enjoy my life and feel energized and fulfilled versus drained. I didn't see anyone doing anything that I really was interested in that would allow me to continue traveling is basically what I wanted. So I continued waitressing, which is what I had been doing in college. And I started researching what I can do to continue traveling but have a job. And what I found was that normal people, just like me, were starting travel blogs. Cat's under the couch, scratching. So yeah, there were these normal people, just like me, who had travel blogs. And to me at this time, this is 2011, travel blogs, or blogs in general, were online journals, or so I thought. I thought it was just people ranting about politics and talking about their favorite bath products and whatever else. I didn't realize that people ran them as businesses, and that they could be these beautiful websites with really helpful information, beautiful photos. And I also didn't realize that, you didn't have to be famous to do this. So looking at these websites, I thought, okay, I can do this. I'm going to pursue this really aggressively, and I'm going to make this happen. So just imagine, my parents and my loved ones at this time. This is a time when blogging wasn't so well known. I had Facebook in college, but that was mainly to see what parties were going on campus. There wasn't really Instagram and Snapchat. I think there was Twitter, but I had never been on it. So it was a really new thing to be going online and creating content for other people. Whole new world to me. And I pursued it really aggressively, which my friends and family at the time really didn't get. I didn't have, they supported me, they wanted me to succeed, but they also were confused. They wanted me to have a real job and make money and have benefits and health insurance, and they were kind of scared for me and afraid I would waste my master's. But it was hard to go against what people were telling me and the advice they were giving me, but in my heart I knew that I really, really, really wanted this. And I think ultimately that is what helped me, was really picturing this goal so clearly in my mind that I absolutely couldn't not have it. I didn't say, I kind of want to try this. I invested in online courses. I started journaling more and practicing my writing. I invested in a better camera and started learning how to take better photos. And I really tried to learn all these skills that it takes to become a blogger. And it paid off, because today I do live full-time on my travel blogs, which is great to earn a living on your passions. I know a lot of people who, work 9-to-5s or just work jobs in general that make them unhappy or make them feel drained, or that they don't wake up feeling excited to do. And that's not to say that you can't have a 9-to-5 job and feel fulfilled, because you absolutely can. I just feel like a lot of my friends who have these just have these jobs that they're working, doing things for other people and kind of doing tasks that they don't really want to be doing. So I hope that whether you want to start a travel blog or a blog on another topic, or just start your own online business, or just switch jobs to do something more fulfilling, that you see it absolutely is possible. Even if it seems unrealistic or scary, it absolutely is possible. So a few things I wanted to say, I made some notes to just show you that these things are possible. Again, whether you want to start a travel blog or another topic for a blog, or this other business, it absolutely is possible. So in terms of travel blogging, one thing to note is that you do not need to be famous. I mentioned this when I was saying my story, but you don't need to be Anthony Bourdain. You don't need to be Samantha Brown. What you need is a topic that's inspiring and helps people. So consider what pain points you can solve for people, because people really do need someone that they can go to for help. And if you can be that person, you don't need to be on television to help someone and give them valuable advice or share your story with them to inspire them. The second thing is that you don't need to quit your job. So when I was building up my blog, I actually waitressed on the side to have an income, and I also liked having that flexible schedule to be able to build the website. So I would even say, don't quit your job yet. While you build your blog, keep your job, or at least have some source of income that is steady, because it does take time to build a blog or any business, and you want to make sure that you can at least put food on the table, pay your rent, and all that good stuff. And eventually, once your blog is profitable and steady and sustainable, you can quit your job if you'd like. Which gets to my third point. You don't need to travel 24/7 to have a travel blog. If you read travel blogs, you probably see all these bloggers that seem to be in a different country or a different city every single day. You do not need to do this. You can certainly do it, but you don't need to. One, you can cover your hometown or places around your hometown, or you can just go on really important or special trips where you can get a lot of stories out of them and kind of, slowly let out the content onto your blog. So when I first started blogging, I was traveling a ton. And for me personally, it wasn't sustainable. I love travel, but I also love my apartment. I love, my boyfriend and my friends and my cat that's jumping in cabinets right now, making a lot of noise. My family lives in New York, so I see them. And to me, I need a balance. I need to travel. I try to do one trip every month, even if it's a short trip, or maybe I wait 2 months and I do a little bit of a longer trip. But I need enough time at home, and then I also need to have some time on the road. And for me, I've also switched my publishing schedule because of that. So instead of publishing 3 times a week on my blog, I now publish once a week. And I'll also have some posts, with tips or general advice that doesn't need me to travel all the time. The cat's on the computer. Or you could have people guest post. You could do interviews of other people. I have another website, Epicurean Culture, where I run it as a magazine and I contribute and I'm the editor, but I also have other people contribute, which means that I don't have to be traveling every second, but I still can when I want to. You also don't need a ton of income to start a blog. In fact, it is extremely lean, especially in the beginning. You can actually start blogging for free if you do, a WordPress.com type website. I advise getting at least WordPress.org and paying for some hosting, which is inexpensive and you can absolutely do, but it is a great online business for those who don't have a ton of money to invest in a business. You don't have to go buy a brick and mortar and pay rent and electricity and employees. As you grow your business, you might want to outsource some jobs to other people. I have 2 assistants that help me with, creating graphics and social media promotion, but you can wait and see as you build your business what makes sense for you to get help with. The other thing is that it is okay to learn as you go. People get into blogging or they get scared off by it because they think, I have to learn photography and writing and how to make my post rank high in search and how to build an email list and all of these topics. And they are all absolutely important, but you don't have to learn all of them at once. When you start, you can focus on creating that great content, sprucing up the site, making it look nice, and then slowly learning as you go and building on your knowledge. So that's exactly what the Travel Blog Prosperity Mentorship Program that I am launching June 1st is all about. Because each month we focus on a different topic, getting really, really, really focused, video classes, how-to guides, implementation checklists, live coaching calls. I want to make sure you know the topic and the strategies really well before moving on to the next, so you're not floundering later on because you only skimmed the surface of branding or growing your email list or SEO, which is search engine optimization or ranking higher in Google search. Also, consider how you can stand out from the crowd. So it can be scary. You can think, I have this, strange niche, or I have, I want to try something, but it's never been done, so that's kind of bad. I've never seen anyone succeed at this. Try it. Be different. You don't have to wear a dress made of meat to be different. Try to find, what I always suggest to people is creating a pro-con list of other blogs in your niche or your desired niche. Look at what they're doing that you like, what they're doing that turns you off, including, content and design and site navigation. And then try to pinpoint where you can fill a gap or what you can do different or better. Because being different isn't bad. It's actually really, really good in business. Helps you become that big fish in a small pond. It's also awesome to be a blogger because you're actually building a business on your unique self. People get nervous that they have to, little cameo here, it's Cliff. People get nervous because they think they have to sound like a college professor and speak really proper. And the truth is that while spelling and grammar is important, you can curse, you can tell jokes, you can, add emojis in there. However feels right for you, it'll make you appear more human to your audience, which is great because the thing about blogging is that people want to relate to you. They want to feel like you're someone they would grab coffee with versus, you being someone that would lecture at them. So it's a great thing about blogging that you can just completely be yourself, feel free to get creative and just speak as you normally would. Lastly, I wanted to say, investing in education is something you can do to become a blogger or build any business that you're trying to build. Starting from scratch and trying to figure out everything as you go with Google, there's millions of, advice articles on the web, some good, some bad. you're going to see a lot of contrasting information, and you're just going to be really confused, frustrated, and waste a lot of time. Instead, it makes sense to learn from those who have already done what you're trying to do. You know, take online classes, read books. There's, you know, a lot of great sites for online classes, you know, along with what I'm offering. There's a lot of information to be had out there, conferences that have amazing panels, networking events where you can make connections. There's a lot going on. I've also found that Facebook is a great tool for finding groups. For example, I'm in a few blogging groups where there's thousands of members and we can ask questions when we need help. You know, sometimes I get confused on the tech side of things and I'll throw a question out there. And I've had people even do, you know, say, okay, like, let me go into your site and look around for you and see what I can find for free, because it's a community that helps each other. And there is a lot of that going on Facebook. I don't use LinkedIn much, but I know on there too, there's a lot of these great groups. So really learn from those who've already done it. So I hope that you found this inspiring. You've learned something, you feel, you know, empowered to make that dream a reality. Whatever you've been really wanting to do for yourself this year, make it happen. And I will be posting the video on Jessiana Journey's Facebook. So if you have questions later or comments, feel free to throw those in there and I will respond. So see you later.